So we were going by my mother's, and she hates my mother. I don't know why, but she was in some kind of mood.
John, I need to stop you. This is a check-in, and on check-in, I want you to talk about your own behavior and your own abuse and not talk about your partner.
Yeah, but listen, you're not going to get the whole story. Let me tell you what she did.
Hold on a second. We're going to have to interrupt you.
No,
again. Really.
She starts to fight, and then I look like a jerk.
Just for the purposes of this exercise right now, we just want you to say what you did, just for your own actions, okay?
You people only want half of the story, and that's not fair.
Salvador, on a long check-in, what we're really hoping for is that you'll have the opportunity to describe exactly what you did. Later in the program, you'll have an opportunity to give a more complete picture of what you feel happened.
She's always hitting me, and then I'm forced to restrain her.
Dwayne, we've been trying to get you for 10 minutes now just to stick to your own behavior. Let me show you how. I came home, I called Pat a bitch. She went into the bedroom, I broke down the door, I hit her. I broke her nose.
I think we had a great week. I mean, I can't think of any fights or abuse or anything. There was a little tension on Saturday, but I mean, that's over.
Well, Doug, if Heather were here and she were able to check in about the past week, what would she say about what happened on Saturday?
Everything's fine.
Well, could you, is there any reason why your partner might be upset with you this past week?
Well, no, we had a great time together this week.
Well, could you describe the positive experiences you had in as much detail as possible and kind of look at how they might have played out as abuse in the past?
Yeah, it was a good weekend with my kids.
Ian, how did you spend your time?
My mom took them Christmas shopping, and then I took them to a movie. We accidentally ran into this woman I'm dating, but I think it's okay. I mean, their mom doesn't know about her.
Well, we'd like to focus on just what you checked in about this stuff with your children, so we'll do that after the check-in.
Look, I thought things were going great. He just keeps bugging me.
Well, it sounds like your partner is feeling safer talking to you about her feelings. If you want to put it in a positive light, you might say how lucky you are that she stayed with you after your abuse, instead of blaming her for talking. It's important that you listen to her comments about your behavior.
I felt pissed when she criticized me for being home late again.
I know what you mean. Mine does the same thing. They're all like that.
Dwayne, that kind of comment does not help Ian look at his own behavior and the impact it has on his partner. In fact, you're encouraging him to have negative thoughts about her and about women in general. He could get the same kind of advice in a bar. Tom, last week you also reported you were really pissed at your son.
You're always so negative. I think you hate men.
Tom, I think that Lori was merely repeating what you had reported.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Mark. I was thinking the same thing.
Does anybody see what just happened here?
I think we should all take a look at how people responded positively towards me, but negatively towards Lori.
I already told you we had a fight. What else do you want me to say?
Well, what we want you to do is describe the abusive incident, what you said and what you did, what kind of effects you think it had on your partner, and then any negative thoughts you might have had in your head at that time.
Forget it, I'm not leaving!
Charlie, I want you to sit down. I've already asked you a couple times to stop yelling. If you don't, I'm going to need to ask you to leave. If you choose not to leave on your own, I'm going to need to call the police and I'm going to need to terminate you.
I yelled at her. I know I shouldn't have, but I did.
John, negative thoughts lead you to becoming abusive. Could you tell us what you were thinking at the time?
I never knew it mattered if I didn't say it.
Well, being aware of your negative self-talk will help you to stop being abusive in the future.
I think she should give me a break and get over it. The abuse happened like 6 months ago.
Well, John, you seem really focused on your own positive changes, and you have made changes, but you have to realize that sometimes it's really common for victims of abuse to have a different kind of timeline than the one that you're on.
I know it's the end of the group, but can I tell you I did something abusive this week?
There's no time to talk about it now. That's why we'd like you to report it at the beginning of the group during check-ins.
Paul, last week you said you were pissed off at your partner too.
But Kevin said I was doing well last week. You're always looking at the negative.
Yeah, you're right.
What I said was that it was good that you reported your anger, not that it made it okay. My feedback is no different from Susan's. Tell me how you remember your partner acting. What exactly did she say to you?
She asked me why I was yelling when I'm the one who was late for dinner and ruined dinner, as usual.
Sal, can you try to describe this to us exactly how it happened? The last time you told us about it, you made yourself sound very favorable to the group. And so we're just interested in hearing it precisely how it happened so that we can give you very focused feedback.
Miguel, this is your third attempt and you still have a hostile tone when you speak to your partner in the role play.
Yeah, you still sound mad at her, although you did say the right words.
Why don't you try to think more about your facial expressions as well as the words that you use?
I guess I still feel mad that she wants me to do more for her.
Okay, Susan and Tom, why don't we do the role play?
Okay. I don't care if you're sorry. That doesn't make me feel any better. I'm sick of your promises.
You're right, I understand, you're sick of it.
Oh, so now you're understanding, too.
What can I say? She pissed me off. I wanted to yell at her. I just wanted to give her a piece of my mind.
I know, Tom, but your partner gets to have her feelings no matter what you do.
You know, last week we got bogged down during check-ins again. We didn't get the two guys at all.
Yeah, after we started talking about Sam's abuse, we couldn't get anywhere.
The men think that you can't manage your time when you're only doing check-ins. Plus, when you're only doing check-ins, you don't have time to get to everybody, especially the quiet ones.
This is the third time John got time. It's too much.
I think we're getting somewhere with him.
We can't spend too much time on one man. We're not supposed to be doing individual therapy. We need to use the time more fairly.
We talked to his partner. We know he's lying every week. I'd like to use the partner contact.
Even though she says it's okay, it puts her in danger. I don't think we can do it.
Let's find another way of getting at his abuse. You could use an educational activity about the effects of having affairs.
Tom was really nasty to Susan last week.
Yeah, he incited other men in the group, and he tries to bring him down to his level.
We can't demonize him. We just have to keep after him about his abuse, expect him to be respectful, and base his continuation of the program on that.
I feel like you're undermining me in group. How can the men respect me if you don't?
I don't see it. I feel like I've worked hard to be fair to you in group about time. I think this is a private matter and not for supervision.
It is a matter of supervision. If one of you feels like you haven't been able to resolve it, and it's affecting the group.
I want to spend more time focusing on rape. Maybe do an educational activity.
Right, but I'm concerned that we're going to alienate the men even more.
I agree with Mark. That could be too heavy-handed.
I think you both have a blind spot because you're men. I want to talk to another supervisor about it, or at least talk about it at the counseling meeting.
You know, the way Bill checks things in, you just can't help but laugh.
Yeah, I agree. I know what he did was awful, but you can't help but like the guy.
You know, I'm afraid you're getting too chummy with the guys. You know, you need to have professional boundaries. I'd like to observe one of your groups and see what's going on in there.